All right. Good afternoon, everybody. What is today? Tuesday. Happy Tuesday. So I am absolutely delighted to have three huge presence on today's call. And these are three people that have built enormous organizations at eXp. I want you to think about this for a second. If you wanted to build a software company, would it not be beneficial to work along somebody like a Bill Gates so you could learn from the very best? If you want to learn about investing, the same thing could be said about Warren Buffett. We've selected three people on today who have been absolutely servant leaders at the company, giving of themselves when there's absolutely no benefit at times, always pouring in. And I thought, who better people going into the new year to have on Elizabeth, Jean, and Brent today to share with you the tools and systems that they've put in place to be the best of the best so you can mirror and duplicate into your own business. I'm really excited to have all of them here today. I am proud to call them colleagues. I'm more proud to call them friends, people who I utterly respect. Thank you, the three of you. Thank you so much for being here today. So we figured we'd start off with a quick intro. Each of them are going to speak for about 5 minutes talking about themselves. And then, of course, I get the distinct pleasure of being able to ask them some questions, and then we'll open it up to all of you. But again, thanks to the three of you.
Well, I'll go ahead and great intro. I'll go ahead and start, Brent, because I'm here because of Elizabeth Riley. Thank you, Elizabeth. She's my sponsor. I cannot talk about 5 minutes about myself, but I could talk to you about 80 minutes about eXp and what it's done for the whole industry, for the real estate industry, because we're helping agents. So bottom line is I've been in the business 40 years. When I say that, I started my business in 1984, Remax in the 80s, Realty Executives in the early 90s. That was my first brokerage I owned and operated. Don't become an owner, just so you know. Don't become an owner. I did that. And then I went to a small little company called Keller Williams in 1994. There were less than 2,000 agents. And my wife and I were there, Susan and myself were there for 21 years at Keller Williams. That's where we grew as people, as agents, as leaders. And 9.5 years ago, 10 years ago, almost right now, I was talking to some little guy, Jeff Bezos, I think is his name. No, his name is Glenn Sanford. That's right, Glenn Sanford. I talked to him 10 years ago. He explained to me about this new virtual real estate model. And literally, it's been 9.5 years. Come April, it'll be 10 years for Elizabeth and I that we've been here. And we're very, very excited to share with you how it's changed our lives. There were less than 400 agents when we came, and just really excited to share with you anything you guys want to know how we built our. I call it my team. I don't ever call it a downline. You know, Brent and I talk about this. There's no such thing as a downline or an upline. There's just a team, and very excited to share that with you. I currently live in Puerto Rico. I'm Puerto Rican. I've been here 6 years, and have 5 children. If you just know us, if you met Susan, we're all about our 5 kids and our 10 grandkids. So that's Jean Frederick.
Thanks, Jean. Brent, Elizabeth?
Elizabeth, ladies first. Go ahead.
Oh my gosh. So Gino, you're just saying you got in the business when you were 10, right?
Yeah, no
40
kidding.
years. That's crazy. 40 years. That's crazy. Elizabeth Riley, so excited to be here with all of you guys. These are some of my favorite people in the whole wide world on one screen. I've been in the business 19 and a half years. I got in the business when I was 10 as well, Jean. 19 and a half years in Atlanta, Georgia, not because I had this burning desire to be in real estate, but I had my CPA telling me I had to be in real estate because my husband and I were investors. So I had a couples Bible study. 4 of the men were real estate agents at different brokerages. I said, tell me what I need to know. And Keller Williams at the time was the only one that would take me part-time. So I joined Keller Williams in Atlanta, Georgia, realized, oh my gosh, this is actually fun. I get to work with people that know me, like me, and trust me. And I built my business in Georgia just by referrals and just working with people that knew me. And then in 2008, for those in the business a long time, we were transferred with my husband's company to Austin, Texas. And it was funny because everybody I met and talked to, they said, oh, you were in real estate there. What are you going to do here? And I said, real estate. And they look at me like I had 4 heads. Are you crazy? The market's, the sky is falling. The market's, horrible. The industry is completely tanked. And I was like, well, it's all perspective, right? It's opportunity. And Atlanta had actually burst. We had a really, really bad time in Atlanta. And so for Austin, it was a better market. So for me, it was opportunity. I had to meet people. I had one child at the time. I now have four. And so just slowly started meeting people. Gino knew me through all the kids, but so built my business again just by one person at a time, one relationship at a time, really truly believing if you build the relationship, the business will come. Gene and I met because when I first joined, he was not the team leader, but he came to be the team leader. And when Gino came, man, we had fun. All of a sudden, we started having so much fun. We were building, we were growing, we were all winning together. And I became, in 2014, number one in his market center. There was, 650 agents, Gino? Something like that. I was number one. And Gene had already retired at that time, left me. But I realized I'm getting out of the business. I'm bored. I'm uninspired. I'm on a hamster wheel. I'm getting a baseball cap that says Capper every year. And that's not going to pay my bills or create a legacy for my kids. And so my husband said, well, start your own brokerage. No, thank you. Or go to another company. That's all a lateral move. And so my relationships in Georgia had all gone to this little tiny company called eXp Realty, and they started talking to me. And I will take a leap, but Gene, Brent, even you, Eric, all of us, people follow you, right? People follow people, and I will take a leap, and I don't mind taking a risk, but I didn't want to do that, at the detriment for other people. And so I truly believe in seeking wise counsel. And I had to be very strategic who I spoke to, because in our market, if they hear you're looking, they will send your license back. So Gino and I would meet in the back of a Starbucks, in the back of a Barnes and Noble, because nobody ever goes there, right? Nobody would ever find us. And so I said, Gene, I need to talk to you. Never approached Gene to recruit him because I had no idea. And Gene's done some huge things. So why would he be interested in this little 400 agent company? But I said, Gene, I've only been at Keller Williams for 10 years. I don't know what I don't know. Help me understand this model. Help me poke holes. And Gene and I met for 5 months, and he's like, ask him this question, ask him this question. And it just evolved from there. And all of a sudden he said, let's do this. And so that's where our start came. And it's been almost 10 years, which is hard to believe. And we are having so much more fun. We've changed so many different people's lives. We have so many incredible relationships all around the globe. And the reality is we're just getting started. So I'm still very much in production. I live in Austin, Texas. I'm the first icon agent ever named in eXp. And in 5 transactions, I will have number 10 icon. So that is me in a nutshell.
Thanks, Elizabeth.
Brent,
Brent,
your
what do
turn.
you got?
Wow, that is awesome. Well, I think none of us would be here if it wasn't for Elizabeth. She's the leader of this whole thing, and I love it. You're a light in a dark world, Elizabeth, and I noticed the candle burning behind you. So it is symbolic of who you are, a bright light.
Thanks, friend.
There's no candles behind Gene. We got to get on the candle game here. Well, great to see everyone. Merry Christmas. Big hug from BG to all of you. I love Christmas. I got home yesterday, traveled over 4,000 miles, and I'm home for the holidays with my family. So I'm you can't wipe the smile off my face. Just stoked to be here. But, got going in real estate in 96, 97. Every home I showed in California was boarded up. They handed me a mag flashlight like a cop about that long to light up the house as I showed the homes and to beat off would-be intruders inside each dark bedroom. I thought that was normal. I mean, that was just how I started in real estate. And every commission was 5% to the buyer's agent, which I thought was great. And I did that till 99. I think I sold 48 homes in 99. And, the first 6 months I sold 3. The next 12 months, I sold 18, then 28. Then I got to, I think by my 4th year, 1999, 48 homes, made almost $400,000. I'm like, is this even legal? Like, are they going to arrest me? Like I didn't even graduate from college. I went to Chico State in the early 80s, was voted the #1 party school in America. I go, perfect. I didn't go for the engineering program. I didn't go for, science. I went for have a good time and get a college degree. And then I managed to drop out and get into business. And I did really well, which is why I dropped out. I found out I'm a sales guy, and there was no 4-year degree in sales. I was motivated. I love people. And I started making like quadruple what my college professors were making. I'm like, why do I want to be a teacher? Like, if you got to work your whole life, have summers off. And that's why I wanted to be a teacher, so I could houseboat and water ski and have fun in the summers with my family. Well, got into real estate. That went well. In 99, I had a breakthrough. I left an independent brokerage because the brokers closed up shop and moved to Newport Beach to sell $1 million homes instead of $100,000 homes. And I don't know, that made sense. So I went to Remax, and they're like, don't do it. They're terrible. It's a 100% company. They don't even care about you. They put you at 100% and they forget about you. But I went, I really liked it. I was quite happy. Stayed 12 years. It was so terrible. I stayed 12 years. And I did my own thing, and I went from 40 sales a year to over 400 because I copied the number one Remax agent in the world, Success Leaves Clues. I saw what he did, and I did what he did, and I had what he had, put in the work. And then 2000, about late 2009, Keller Williams had been knocking on my door for 9 years. And I finally said, I'll give it a shot. And I went kind of like, I need to do something different because all the banks were collapsing. Everything was turning into bank repos and short sales. I thought, I'm going to go check out this eXp thing. This Keller Williams thing. And Remax is like, don't do it. They're horrible. They're terrible. Keller Williams, well, they have all this training. Yes, because nobody knows anything over there. They have to train everybody because they're all incompetent. They're all new agents. You sell 400 homes a year. You're the number one Remax agent in California out of 10,000. Don't shame us. Like Keller Williams, it's beneath you. And so I said, well, I've been to their business planning clinics, and they're pretty doggone good. And I've been to their master lead generation classes taught by Frederick, and they're pretty doggone good. And Rick Jiha and people I loved, I go, I'm going to go try it. If it's so terrible, I'll be back in 6 months. Well, 9 years later, I was still at Keller Williams, and I was loving it. I was someone, I liked Remax, and I loved Keller Williams. So then I see eXp, and there was just no comparison. It was like finding out, when I saw eXp, it was like finding out I've been living in an apartment eating government cheese. I thought, this is a great apartment. They put chlorine in the pool. There's a little weight room. They mow the lawn. They take care of everything. Keller Williams, it's great. And it was great. I'm not putting them down, but I found out, oh my gosh, I can own the brokerage through the stock award system. I can build revenue share. I sent hundreds of people to Remax and got 3 $10 Starbucks cards. I did the same thing at Keller Williams because I loved the company, and I was averaging $700 a month in profit share. Yes, there were a few months I got $1,900. In 1 month, I got $2,900, which I thought was amazing. And then I see eXp, and man, I go, I just saw the potential there to do something great. And of course, I was right. And Keller Williams is like, no, to destroy you, to ruin you, just like Remax said about Keller. Keller told me about eXp. Long story short, I said, well, look, I'll give him 6 months. I told Remax I'd give Keller Williams 6 months. I told Keller Williams I'd give eXp 6 months, and I meant it, by the way. So I was quite happy at Keller Williams. I loved it. Corner office, life's great. Loved the culture of education and becoming a student of life. 6 months later, I'm making $35,000 a month, not $700 a month. I'm like, holy wow. And so did that. And now I believe we have 9 out of every 10, 1 out of every 10 agents is with eXp in North America. 9 out of every 10 aren't. The opportunity's never been bigger. I'll get into that. But it's been life-changing, stratospheric, 100x difference. So back to you, Eric.
Hey, first of all, thank you to the three of you for kind of, your background. What I want to say to everybody in today's call is, having a background in investment banking, we often looked at management teams and looked at business plan. But what makes an organization great is its leadership. So today, I want you to take the opportunity to formulate some really good questions to ask Brent, Jean, and Elizabeth in an effort to move the needle forward in your business. I've drafted a couple of questions. I'd like to pose it to them first. I get the joy of doing that. And then we'll take questions from the audience. But for the three of you, what is the one attribute? What is the one thing that you could attribute to your success in becoming a mega builder at eXp? What is the one attribute?
If you want to start with me, it's persistence. It's always persistence to me. I go over 4 things when I teach: persistence, taking the right action, taking massive action, and being patient. And being patient. And those 3 kind of hit home with me. And then asking for help is the last thing I always talk about, because I live with Brent in Puerto Rico, and the bottom line is we help each other so much. People just don't ask us enough. They should ask everybody. Elizabeth helps me. Everybody helps me. So that's what I'll start with.
I love it. I love it. And I had the good fortune of spending the weekend with Brent and Jean in Puerto Rico this past weekend at a mastermind event. And when I'm telling you, they pour into you, I mean, absolutely pour in from the heart. Elizabeth, what about yourself? What's the one attribute that's made you a mega builder at eXp?
I would say just the same way I built my business, relationships. You build relationships. I said it earlier. You build the relationships, the business will come. And I learned this from Gene a long time ago. Just talking to people and asking questions, right? And asking what's important to them. It's not about, I'm not going to sit here and talk about the company. Nobody cares about the company. Nobody cares, whatever the company is, right? But if I can ask a lot of questions and understand the pebble in the shoe of the person I'm sitting in front of, then I can help solve for that and I can lock arms and partner. I mean, our industry is really competitive. And when we can show people how collaborative our company is, like Gene said, we all help each other. Brent will get me on a call or I'll get Brent on a call, or you just figure out where you can help, but you build those relationships and you really make sure the person you're talking to feels valued, heard, and respected, and you're understanding what they're looking for, what's going to help them make their lives better and the people around them. And so for me, I love meeting with people on a smaller scale, one-on-one, a couple of people at a time, so I can really understand what their goals are for them to see how we can best support that.
So, Brent, one attribute that's made you a mega producer.
Before I give you that, I do have to correct Gene publicly. I've never done this. Gene lives with his wife in Puerto Rico. We are neighbors in Puerto Rico. For those of you that are new to the show, I just want to clarify that we do not live together, as Gene said. Okay,
you're at
next,
my house more. You're at my house more than everybody knows.
It's true. It's true. He doesn't lock his
The
front door.
FOMO is real too, y'all.
Hey, he doesn't lock his front door. And if the door's unlocked, I'm coming in. That's just the bottom line. Ask Shelly and Craig. All right. Burning desire, 2 words, but one concept. Just an absolute burning desire, fire in the belly, hungry, being hunger and hungry for change and being able to do what it takes. That's my short answer to what it takes to make it happen in life.
So quick summary there. So Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich, just what Brent talked about. You cannot make it if you don't have desire. Desire is absolutely important. Persistence and relationship building are the 3 takeaways that I got from the 3 of them. So Gene, persistence, Brent, desire, Elizabeth, all about relationships. People are going to do business with you if they like you, if they trust you, and they deem you as being competent and responsive to their needs. Next question. I already wrote this down, so I'm somewhat prepared today. All right. We are now at 90,000, 86,000 agents strong, right? 86,000 agents strong. There are many copycat models that will say, you know, eXp has seen its better days. What makes you think eXp will continue to dominate and maintain dominant market share?
Awesome. I'll go first.
Go ahead. Go ahead, Brent. Good.
First to market always wins. First to market always wins. So we're in every state, we're in every city, and they go, oh, wow, that's not good. It is great. Everyone heard of us, and we've been in a 3-year siege, this recession of units, and we're about to come out of it. It's going to be massive, and we don't have to hire brokers in every state. We already have them. We don't have to open corporate bank accounts in every state. It's already there in every province of Canada. It's already there, and we're growing internationally when other companies can't. They may have contacts in Brazil or the UK or Australia or Rome or Italy, but they're not growing there. But we're there, we are growing, and so will every one of you. So that's my short answer. Buckle up. The next 5 years are going to be amazing. The second wave is about to hit. Start paddling.
Elizabeth?
It's flattering, quite frankly. I mean, for those of us that were there early on, Gene and all of us early on, I mean, we were putting the tracks in front of the train as fast as the train was going because we were doing something nobody'd ever done. And people thought we were crazy. They said we were crazy. Not even behind closed doors, they would flat out tell us we were crazy. And the reality is we were on to something. We were excited about building something together. When you own something, you treat it different. Mm-hmm. And so they didn't understand what we were doing. Here's the thing, though. They watched us for years and years and years. And finally, they were realizing, oh, my gosh, there's something to this. I think COVID really made that apparent when other industries are looking at us going, how is this real estate company not only surviving, but thriving in what's going on in the world, right? And so when other industries and other companies are looking at us, they're like, oh, they're doing something different. Maybe we can get on that bandwagon. The interesting thing is we have a 10-year head start. So while we were putting the tracks in front of the train and we failed a lot, like we figured all that out. A lot of those imitators don't know the pain points. They haven't felt the pain of growth. and pain of structure and pain of not getting everybody paid on time and all the different things. Like all of them are having their own growing pains. But to Brent's point, we were the first one there. We went through a lot of growing pains, but we came out of it ahead. And so, I mean, the next imitator is still 10 years old. They're not a startup anymore. And you can still see how they've stalled or they're not growing to where we are. So we're first. Everybody else is going to fight for second place. And for me, that's all noise. And what we're doing is continuing growing and building and doing the best that we can for the agents that are with us. And we want the people that are swimming towards the boat and want to be with us. And we're going to help those people. And the other people can fight for second.
Love it.
Can I just add one thing?
Definitely.
We have zero debt. We got started in 2009. We have zero debt. Zero debt. Guys, look at all the competition. They're going to have to go into debt to try to catch up with us. I mean, it really is a fact. By the way, he's second.
They're also owned by outside investors too, Gene, which I think is a difference between us. We're owned by the majority is owned by the agents, and that's where you're going to take care of people. But those other people are owned by other investors. So when things change, those investors are going to want to see their ROI.
And then I'll reiterate what Brent said. First to market is not just a little thing, it's everything. Who's second to Amazon right now in the US?
Who knows?
Who knows? Who knows?
Who cares?
So get ready for, like Brent said, the next bust, it's going to go crazy. I'll end with that.
I'm going to piggyback on what Brent, Gene, and Elizabeth shared for a second. And that is, folks, brick and mortar is not coming back anytime soon, right?
No.
I mean, in the same way that any one of us that wants to rent a movie this evening, we're not going out to Blockbuster or Hollywood Video. In the comfort of our home, we're going to downstream a movie from our television or a tablet, right? Keep in mind, we are the first cloud-based brokerage, which everybody has been very clear about. But I also want you to recognize we are the only publicly traded, profitable, with dominant, and I mean dominant market share. 86,000. Our closest competitor, Brent, is what? 23,000? So please don't be spoofed by the other copycat models. It's absolutely ridiculous. eXp, you are here. If you want to build on a solid foundation, what better foundation with a company that is profitable, that's already entered the European or the world market, I should say. All right. Thank you all. Next question. I hope this isn't embarrassing, but you're all in a position to retire. You have all done very, very well financially through your revenue share groups. What keeps you motivated to still want to grow?
I'll start with this. It's never been my goal to make a lot of money. When I say that, my goal is to help real estate agents. This is my gig. This is my life. I love them. My relatives are realtors. To me, you're the best salespeople in the industry. And my goal was to help you out of the rat race. And I'm still in the game to help everybody get out of the rat race when they want to get out of it. So why should I ever quit? I don't quite understand it. When people say, hey, and quit saying it when you're on Zooms with me. Oh, wait, Gene, you could retire. I said, well, excuse me, define retirement. When you're doing what you want to do, when you want to do it, with whom you want to do it. I'm retired now. I'm with my buds.
You retired once before too, Gene. And remember, you were bored. You're like, what am I going to do with myself? What am I going to do with my time, right? I mean, I know golf, but there's only so much golf you can play. So you've already been there.
Elizabeth, what keeps you motivated? What keeps you, what has the train continuing to move forward?
I love watching people win. And that looks different for everybody. I always say I love lifting others as we climb. And we won the game in certain aspects, right? But I asked Glenn Sanford this a long time ago. I said, Glenn, look at what you've done. Look at what you've built. You've changed the industry. What makes you not say, okay, well done. I'm going to sail off into the sunset. And he looked at me and he says, well, Warren Buffett still works. Isn't he in his 90s? He said, what would I do? I'm a creative. I want to help people. I wasn't just trying to check a box. Like there's still a lot that we can do. There's still so many lives we can change and so many people we can inspire. And I thought that was pretty profound because I'm like, Glenn has done some really cool stuff and he's just getting started. So Glenn's not going to take it easy and, go off into the sunset. Like we have people, there's 1.6 million real estate agents in the US alone. That's a lot of people that need us or don't know about us or can partner with us. We only have, a little bit of those people. And so I just love watching people win and having them experience time freedom or financial freedom or whatever that looks like for them and their family, and creating a legacy that outlives them. So that's what drives me.
Cool. Thanks, Elizabeth. Brent?
Yeah. It's interesting what Gene said. He just wants to help the agents. I'm not as noble as Gene. I want to help the agents too, but I got in real estate to make money, baby. In the 90s, I needed money. I got my license at 30. I just gone bankrupt. How much can you make? How much a house? I'm in. I'll do that. And I did, and I loved it. And then I made money by helping homeowners. And so I did that for decades. And then we switched to eXp, and you make money by, yes, helping homeowners, but you have to help the agents. I never had to help the agents as a RE/MAX agent or as a Keller Williams agent. We were taught to do that through culture, and we certainly did it. But when you get in eXp, it takes that concept and multiplies it times 100. And it is so it is so rewarding to give when you've done your job with the buyer, when you've done your job with the seller, and you didn't just do what was expected. You went above and beyond. And then same thing with the agents, man. You're all in. I'm having the time of my life. I think people retire when they hate what they do. A state employee, a federal employee, maybe some air traffic controller. I mean, how many more days? 30 more days, 25, 50. I'm retired. Thank God I can go fishing and do everything I want to do. We're doing what we want to do now. Did Norman Rockwell need to retire from doing art? Andre Bocelli from making music? Dr. Walter, Martin Luther, civil rights. And man, if you love what you do, like Gene said, we're already retired. You're just, the concept's crazy. You can only walk on a beach so long. You can only cut a steak so thick. What's rewarding is loving and serving humankind and making a difference.
I love that. There's nothing
making more money. Brent, I had to change my mindset a few years ago too, because I grew up with nothing. So I wasn't really sure what to do when I started seeing success, and that looks different for all of us. But right, Brent, the more money we all make, the more money we can give away or bless other people or do good things. Like, you're super involved in charitable organizations. Gene, you're super involved in charitable organizations. That's my passion. And so I just realized, oh my gosh, the more people we help, the more people we can help.
That's awesome, Elizabeth. So it all comes to really loving what you do and being of service to people. In summary, I absolutely love that. Would you mind sharing, what are your personal goals for your respective organizations?
I'll go first. I want to get to 25,000 agents in my 7 levels, which would be the size of all of Compass in my 7 levels alone. And I think Compass is right there. But, I love competition. There's nothing wrong with it. I love my friends at Sotheby's and Compass and Keller Williams and Real and LPT and Independence and Berkshire Hathaway. Thank God for competition. It makes us stronger, a worthy opponent. Man, you get bitter or you get better. I love them. So for me, I think everyone should have big goals, because then it creates a vacuum for people to come behind you. If you've reached where you want to go, nobody has to grow. So I'm a goal setter. So my personal goal in 2025 is to get to 25,000 in my 7 levels. We're currently floating around 20,000, and I want to add 5,000 more.
Gino?
For me, I
go ahead,
I haven't
Elizabeth.
really, sorry, Gino. I haven't really set goal for my organization. I'm just trying to get as deep as I can to help all the people in there, because I think if we're a real estate company first and foremost, right? And understanding what their goals are, all these people, most of the people really want to just build up and level up their real estate game, right? So helping all of them do 1 more transaction or 2 more transaction, or bring an agent along for the ride with them, like a friend of theirs, however I can help. And now it's very hard in our organizations to help 20,000 people. Brent has 20,000 people, but what we're all doing is we're cascading that out in a bigger way. Brent does huge events where all of us can lock arms and come in and learn together, which that trickles down and it helps us all. I'm doing smaller events. Gino's doing masterminds, all these different things. So I'm just trying to create more opportunity to reach more people that we have here and help them reach people that they want to bring to the company.
Awesome.
My goal for this next year is to help Brent get to 25,000.
I like that. You know what? Let's help Brent get to 25,000.
He's on my 3rd level. He's on my 3rd level, and that'll take care of everything. And I will tell you this: I'm a company guy. When I say that, I want to get to 500,000 agents for eXp. I'm not retiring until we get to 500,000. So that's where I'm going. My rev share team will take care of itself.
Is not going to retire at 500,000. Just so you
No, he's
guys know.
not.
Gene's going nowhere. You will see him out there on a walker. Follow me.
That's right.
Is there any one particular thing that realtors should know about eXp that's not often discussed? Is there anything that should be brought to the surface when discussing the potential prospect or candidate for that matter?
I don't think people realize how robust our commercial program is, our luxury program, our all the different programs we have at eXp, our training. They just don't get it. Yeah, everyone has that. No, here, everybody really wants to help you. Elizabeth has helped me every single time I've texted her or called her. Gene, I did multiple masterminds in Puerto Rico. Gene was sit there pouring in day after day after day, changing lives. Eric, you were there this last weekend. We had about 40 people flying from all over the US and Canada. And Gene was there day after day, even volunteered his home, his boat. And these guys help. And that's what people don't get. It's different. Yes, if your copier code didn't work at Remax, you could use my copier code. Yes, if you lost your lockbox key, I'd probably violate the MLS rule that you use mine. Just don't do anything weird because it's a $10,000 fine. I mean, we did that at all the companies. Yes, we help it, but here you're passionate. Your sponsor's partner, your business partners will, if you just ask, well, I'm not experiencing that. Did you even ask? And so I'm telling you, it's not just Elizabeth and Gene. You have people that'll go to the mat for you beyond just, hey, how you doing at the copier and in the lobby of your office. You win, they win. They will fight like a dog for you. I don't even know you, and I'll fight like a dog for you. It's the coolest culture I have ever seen in my life. And I've lived Remax and Keller, which are both wonderful, wonderful people, but this is something else.
Well, ditto.
That's what I was going to say, and tag on to what Brent's saying is, I think people confuse cloud-based with no culture. And there is so much culture at this company that I tell people all the time, I was #1 at KW, and I am more connected and have more collaboration, and we have more culture at this company. The challenge is, though, you can't tell people about culture. They have to experience it, right? So that's why we're always creating opportunities for people to experience our culture. And the feedback I always get is, oh my gosh, everybody's so helpful. Again, it goes back to, we all own this company. So if one wins around the globe, all of us win. But you can't teach culture. You can't tell about culture. They have to experience it. And so I think people get confused going, well, you're cloud-based. You guys don't get together. We get together so much more than I ever got together before. And our culture is stronger, and we're just locking arms together. So I think that's one thing that there's a misconception, and they're not accurate.
Gino?
I'll end with this. I have 5 kids, and when they turned 16, I bought them junker cars because I knew they were going to, just like yours, run into a guardrail, Elizabeth. So only one of my 5 kids came to me as a 16-year-old and said, I want to buy my own car. I said, really? Well, I'm not going to co-sign. And they said, it was actually Nicole Rousseau. And she says, I'm going to buy my own car. I'm working at Just for Feet. I can afford $350 a month. I'm buying my own car. I don't want your junkers. Guess what of my 5 kids took care of their car? The one that owned it.
Yeah.
The one that paid for it.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing better than ownership in life. And it's hard to explain. I never owned Keller Williams. I never owned Remax. I never owned Realty Executives when I was an agent at those companies. When you own it, it's a different attitude. And I'm just telling you, we all own this together, Eric. And this is something special that I can't explain to people until they start getting those stock awards, start getting a little rev share. And they go, oh my gosh, this is something else. I said, we're going to give out $1 billion the next 4 years, guys, $1 billion in revenue share and stock awards. Okay. Who else has given the $1 billion in 4 years? Nobody.
Yeah. Let that marinate. Well, you just said in the last 12 months, eXp gave back to their agents $197 million.
So a lot of money.
That's incredible. Absolutely incredible. You could tell I'm a frustrated TV personality because I could do this all day, but I want to be fair and I want to open this up to everybody. So, Brooke, who do we have that has questions for Elizabeth, Jean, and Brent? I don't want to let go
Yeah,
here.
we actually have, I know we have a lot coming in, so that's great. Let's start with when it comes to retention, what would you do differently?
Um,
I wouldn't do anything differently. We're doing meetings every single month, everywhere we can. And next week, I think I have 5 different meetings. There'll be 100, 200, 300 people at the meetings, each one of them. But we do meetings every single month: business planning, mastering lead generation, luxury, commercial, how to listing workshops. We're just constantly. So I feel like, for what I'm doing, we're firing on all 12 cylinders. And I think I'll say this, and I'll give this to Elizabeth and to Jean. Satisfied agents leave you every week. Raving fan agents, they'll stay. So what are you doing to make raving fan clients and raving fan agents? You want to play at a high level? That's how you do it.
I agree 100%. And I wouldn't do anything different either. I'm trying to figure out more ways that I can help and pour in, right? I mean, we're all limited in our time, but it's like, okay, what can we do in addition to what we're doing? And we do, I mean, every Tuesday. This morning, I had a whole Austin Market Pulse Mastermind. We have all the Austin agents, regardless of orgs. We don't care if you're EXP, you're EXP. We mastermind every Tuesday, and it's phenomenal. And we have, different topics all week, every week. We do in-person events every month. We have the big holiday party. We do happy hours every month. We celebrate our agents, right? If they're not local, but we're celebrating our agents, celebrating their first transaction, celebrating when they cap, celebrating when they icon, celebrating all the achievements that they're receiving, right? So just when you love on people and you make sure they're seen and heard and valued, they don't go anywhere. And create raving fans. But you got to love on people. You got to celebrate people, because we're doing some really, really cool things. Even the brand new agents, like our Fast Cap program, we're celebrating these brand new agents, 109 agents in 6 weeks in this market, in this bad market, that wrote 247 contracts to close. Like, we're doing something different. You need to celebrate those successes and celebrate our differences from what everybody else is doing in the industry.
Can I just add one thing? Recruit more talent.
Yeah.
I've been dealing in this industry forever. NAR will lose 30% of its membership every single year. 30% of NAR goes away. In a down market, sometimes it reaches 40%. There's not enough units for people to sell. Don't worry about the word retention. I hear retention. I hear I've got to go get more people. I got to go get more good agents that want to be in the business.
Yeah. I think you're either playing offense or defense. When you start playing defense, no bueno. It's been a 3-year siege. Agents are exhausted at Coldwell Banker.
Right.
They're exhausted at Keller Williams, and they're tired of eXp. Bottom line is the recession of units went in half. People's income got cut in half. So you got to do the best you can to love them and support them. But some people are going to vote themselves out, and you wish them well and you care for them, but you're playing offense, you're growing, and man, the wave is coming. I could see it way out in the ocean, and it's going to be an 80-footer, and you want to catch this next wave. It's going to be awesome.
Well, and to what Brent just said too, you keep loving on people. If they leave, still love on them, still invite them. 9.2 agents are coming back to EXP. Is it every day?
Every day.
Yep.
That's huge, right? So sometimes people want to venture out and see if there's something better or grass is greener, and then they realize, oh my gosh, what EXP is doing is pretty phenomenal. So we're welcoming 9 people back home every single day. So still love on people, still help them out. But to Brent's point, wish them well. Don't burn any bridges.
And also, I wanted to note here that, and the agents that are leaving, typically the majority of them sell between 0 to 2 houses a year. 0 to 2 houses a year. So highlight that for a sec. Brooke, who else is next?
Okay, so we know that agent attraction overall is a relationships game, right? So what would you guys say is your favorite way to focus on agent attraction? Is it through events, video messaging, cold calling? How do you start those interactions?
Great question.
Here, I'll start with this. First of all, you've got to do what gives you energy. Write that down. What gives you energy? A lot of people go, Elizabeth and I, she knows me. I did every single presentation one-on-one. That gives me energy, right? A lot of people like to do lunch and learns, right? That gave me energy. Anything in person gave me energy. The more I get into, you guys have got to identify. Don't worry about what to do. Just say, oh man, I'm really good at this, whatever that is, social media or whatever, and attack it and be masterful at it. The problem is you give up. There's too many ways to go get agents. Hey, I'll give you one thing that you guys, this will blow eXp up if everybody did it. And I taught it when I was at KW with Elizabeth too. 3 days after closing, I want you guys to call the other agent and say, hey, Elizabeth, that was a great closing. I have a small gift of appreciation I'd love to give you because I'm so glad we closed on that property. Starbucks, 8:30 on Tuesday. How about it? Go meet that agent, give them a thank you. Boom, boom, shakalaka. Nobody's doing that. Don't talk about eXp, talk about business, kids, everything. If we all did that, we close 500,000 transactions a year. We would explode. So in other words, make it a ticker on what you do. Don't think of it as something special. You closed on the property, 3 days after, I'm going to call that agent and give them a gift in person.
That's a great process for all of you to add to your business. It's a great funnel to have. Thanks, Jane. Brent, Elizabeth?
Community builder. I'm a connector. I love connecting people. And so when I recognize holes or where there's opportunities, I'm like, oh, what could we do here? So one of my favorite things is our AHA meetings every month that we started doing, agents helping agents. And it started with bringing all the eXp agents together and just masterminding in person. Right. In Austin, we were the same place. Consistency. I think Gene said that earlier. Consistency in anything you do is key. The same day per month, the same location, the same time, everything's the same. And so we do it monthly where it's all production based and we have different people come in and speak on whatever it is. And outside people, Brent's come in from California. Like we did a huge event, right? And it started with eXp agents. But what happened is they're like, well, this is so valuable. Can we bring a friend? And it didn't start as an attraction event, but that's what it's turned into. So now people are bringing their friends from other brokerages and their other brokerages are like, wait, we're not doing this. We're not talking about things like this. Why are you guys opening up your playbook? Why do you guys operate like this? And it creates curiosity. And then they keep coming. And they're like, I want to talk about eXp. So it opens up that conversation. And so I'm just creating the opportunity for people to invite. Brent does that too. His is much bigger, right? But I'm doing that on a monthly basis, local. And that's one of my favorite ways because we're seeing a lot of traction and success.
Absolutely. Exactly what Gene and Elizabeth just said, 100%. Here's one of the things I like to do for agent attraction. I like to tell people when I meet with them and I'm talking to them and they go, look, I know eXp is killing it. I should have done it. 5, 6, 7, 8 years ago, and I get, I hear it all the time. I should have. I so regret it. That's what everybody says. But guess what? They're going to say, oh my gosh, in 2025, why didn't I get in and start paddling and catch the next wave? Because the next wave is coming. Real estate's cyclical. Been decade after decade after decade after decade after decade after decade after. This is my 3rd market correction. It's Gene's like 9th or something, 40 years, whatever. But here's the deal. We're getting ready to go on a run, baby, and it's going to be awesome. So what I like to tell people is this. Will you make a commitment to me? Because they're saying, look, I love Compass. I love Sotheby's. I love Realty One, whatever. I go, great. Stay there. It disarms them. Do not leave. Please stay there. I want to be your plan B. What if you were to be mistreated in 6 months, a year or two, and you didn't know where you want to go? I want to be your plan B. And then here's the magic words. Everyone write this down. This will make you millions of dollars. Will you commit to me to staying in curiosity about the model? That's all I'm asking you. Would you at least be willing to stay in curiosity about the model and then shut up? Because guess what? Maureen Barker from Keller Williams said that to me in 2008 when I shut her down. I'm like, the greatest company in the world, RE/MAX. Why would I go to Keller Williams? I saw them. It's the same. I don't need to change. And she said, would you stay in curiosity about the model? I go, yes. She says, great. I'm going to invite you to some business planning clinics. It's going to help you at RE/MAX. I'm going to invite you to some luxury workshops. It's going to help you at RE/MAX. I'm going to invite you to some lead mastery clinics and how to master lead generation. It's going to help you at Remax if you go back to Remax. And so I did that. So I followed that model here at eXp. It works great. Will you make a commitment to me to stay in curiosity about the model? Listen, Matt, no, I won't. I won't. People, they're naturally going to say yes. Then it gives you permission. Then say, great, I'm going to invite some things. I want you to come, take the information and go back to Compass and kill it. And then they'll say, well, sometimes they go, well, Elizabeth, Jean, I mean, I know you want me to come to, I go, of course I do. I love you. It'd be so much fun to do it together. But listen to me, Eric, Orland, I forbid you to leave Keller Williams for the next 25 years. Stay there. Listen, get over yourself. Stay there, but come to Cabo. Like we have Cabo25.com. Check out that website. Ed Milet's coming. Tom Ferry is coming. Pace Morby is coming. Gary and Sage Brecka is coming. Coach Burt is coming. Bill Pipes is everybody here's everybody 1,100. They're coming. Would you stay? And I like to say to people, if you go and it wasn't 10 times better than I'm telling you, like you don't find it life altering, changing. It's not about eXp. It's about you selling more homes to your family. If you go and you're not blown away, I'll refund you your airline ticket, your hotel room, the event ticket. Go. It's like $597, $5. 5 days. And I was trying to pull up the picture. I couldn't do it quick enough till you got to me. My first meeting had like 5 people at it at a mortgage company. You don't need 500. You need 5. And then do a luxury workshop with the 5 of you. Do the next one, maybe have 15. Do a lead generation workshop with 50. Well, who would I get? The best eXp agent in your town, or fly them in a day trip. You fly them in that morning, you do something at noon, serve lunch for 2-3 hours, and then you fly back. It's a day trip for them. And they're honored to be coming, but you're not asking. So if you do that, and I'll end with this, you want to create FOMO. Here's how I create FOMO. Everybody's going to be there. Keller Williams is going to be there. Real's going to be there. Remax is going to be there. LPT is going to be there. Sotheby's is going to be there. Everybody's coming. It's broker agnostic. Come one, come all. And our speaker, Eric Orland, used to be a business banker on Wall Street. He's a genius. He's going to talk to you about X, Y, and Z. Here's his credibility. It's going to change your life. I do it every single time. We pack out the meetings. I packed them out when there were 10 people at Guild Mortgage. And then there were 20. Then there were 40. And there were 80. And that's how we grow. And I said, look, don't miss out. FOMO, fear of missing out. Create FOMO. Everyone's coming. You're going to fall behind. Come to our business planning workshop. Go back to Coldwell Banker and prosper. And I mean it. It's not just a cheap thing. I want them to do well. I don't want their kids to suffer. And you're going to suffer if you don't come. So you got to up the energy level, up the conviction level, the enthusiasm level, and get to there. Get them, give them something. And they go, okay, Gove, I'll go. Come on. It's not that hard. Drink some, go to Krispy Kreme. Don't get the donut. I didn't get the donut. I got the coffee, and get some coffee and go, growl a little and go do this segment. Okay, I'll calm down. Go ahead. It's your turn.
Coming up on our last 10 minutes. All right, guys.
Oh my God, I love it.
Yeah. Okay,
I need some,
so
after
let's
that,
actually,
I need some coffee. Go ahead, Brooks.
right. So for sake of time, what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask a question and I'm going to let one of you answer it. Then we're going to go to another question. Someone else can answer it, right? So one person per question. So let's see. Look, I was focused on Brent that I wasn't ready. So what would you recommend to a agent who doesn't do a lot of transactions but really wants to get into agent attraction and they're scared to make cold calls?
Can I handle that one?
Yes.
I'll take that one. Get over it. Next question. Get over it. I'm just serious. Nobody knows how many transactions you've sold. They really don't. They don't. I haven't sold a transaction in 24 years. I'm proud of it. Nobody's ever asked me how many homes I've sold. Ever, ever, ever. You just call people. By the way, here's what I will tell you. It's all about them anyway. It's not about you. Why are you worried about what you sold? It's all about them. You got to understand this is about them. Once you understand it's about them, quit thinking about what you're going to say and invest in them. There you go.
I'm going to piggyback on what Gene just said for one quick second. So I have not sold a home in 25 years. Utilize a script. And I'm not talking about a script that you memorize, because nobody's going to do business with you if they deem you as being, full of baloney, right? Again, people are going to do business with you if you're authentic with them and ask them the right questions. Utilize a script, and a script that asks questions, because when the conversation goes off track, you simply ask a question to put it back on track. If you have a script in place that you've internalized and make it part of your personality, you're now able to approach somebody with a high level of comfortability and confidence. And remember, if you're not comfortable and confident, I can assure you that the person who you're speaking with is probably not comfortable and confident either. So utilize a script that resonates with you and allows you to be comfortable with another human being. Brooke, sorry, next.
Okay. Okay, so I just started doing events and now I don't know what to do after the event. How am I following up with these people if you don't want to EXP like word vomit all over them? How would you suggest that we convert our attendees?
Brent, you do bigger events than I do.
All right, I just muted myself to shut myself up and make sure you guys could talk for a little bit. I went on a little run on that last one, but since
We love it.
since you're asking me, I will say this: everybody wants external success. You want to attract agents, earn some revenue share, even if it's just $5,000 a month. What's your house payment? What are your car payments? You know, my first month I earned $5,000 a month in rev share because I went bananas. You just got to go bananas. You got to get excited. Like, oh my God, I saw the best movie. I went to the best restaurant. You got to get excited. And they're like, well, yeah, you might want to check out this restaurant. I don't think I'm going to check out that restaurant. This movie is pretty good. I don't think I'm going to that movie. The level of your enthusiasm. So I'll say this, everyone wants that external success, but it begins with internal success. Have you read the books? Rob, I mean, here, I'll show you. I have stacks of books. I hand those out like candy. You come to my office, I have books. I'm going to give you, not candy, I'm going to give you books. I'm going to feed your mind so you can feed your soul so you can become who you need to become. The level of thinking that got you here today, however far you want in your real estate, but will not take you where you want to go. That's why we're always begging you to go places. I went in 1990 to Toronto, which is 3,000 plus miles from Sacramento, California. And I heard Craig Proctor, the #1 Remax agent in the world. He said, this is how you do it. Like that song, right? But it didn't quite sound like that. And guess what? I did it the way he said, and 80% of what he said didn't work for me because I'm not Craig Proctor. He's a cyborg. He's a maniac. I'm super relational. My mom would say, if I could get him, my mom's a 50-year real estate. If I could just get him at an open house, if I just get my hands on them, they're mine. I'm the same way. I'm her son. If I could just get them. And so I've never cold called anyone. It's a blood sport. So what in the world do you do? Well, first read the books and go to the events. eXp25.com. No, excuse me. Cabo25.com. Look it up. 1,100 of the biggest superstars and eXp in the globe are converging on Cabo San Lucas. You don't might want to go there. You absolutely have to go there. Go there. Who you meet in the pool, in the gym, you'll be working out with Glenn Sanford. You'll be getting breakfast, and Ed Milet will walk over to your table. You'll be talking to Ed Milet. Gary Brecka will be jogging on the beach. You'll be jogging on the beach, and you're going to take that inspiration, and it's a part of your story. But if you miss it, the level of thinking that got you here is not going to get you to where you want to be in your life. Dude, it's March 11th through the 16th. Look it up. Come. I don't need you there. You need you there, and bring people with you. I brought 19 to my first event. I still ride the momentum today. Here's a big hint. Bring people to Cabo, and in March 11th through the 16th, get people there. And I brought 19 on my front line, and it exploded. If I could pinpoint one thing I did that created the wave I ride today, that was it. Because people saw the big picture. They're still with us today. And we're playing offense, not defense, rock and roll. And so I don't even remember the question, but there. Give it to someone else. I forgot.
How do you follow up with people after events? But
good enough.
Exactly.
If you bring them, you don't got to follow up. They're going to be excited. I don't beg people. Preach to the living, don't raise the dead. Let Jesus raise the dead. He's better at it.
Guys, one more question. I know we're coming up in an hour, and then we'll do a quick sign off, but last question, Brooke.
Yeah, I'm going to ask one to Elizabeth, and then I have one for each of you together.
Okay.
So Elizabeth, I know that you do meetings and you do some virtual ones, but why would you think that people don't maybe plug in? And what would you do to try and get them more engaged?
Yeah, I think people don't plug in because they don't know how to plug in or where to plug in. And I think if people plug in and show up, they're not going to fail. There's no way they can fail. So workplace is huge. I would do a lot of things in workplace. I try to reach out to people. We reach out to people as they're onboarding just to invite them. I have my own onboarding person that gets them plugged into all the groups to make sure they know all the things. I send out a coaching calendar every single week saying, here's a Zoom link, make it really, really, really simple. So I just make sure sometimes it's over communicating, but I want to make sure nobody feels left out and everybody knows what we're doing. And we're always sharing. So there is no way, if you're plugged in and showing up, you're not going to fail. There's so many different avenues, and we're all so different. There's something for everybody at this company.
Completely agree, Elizabeth. Love it.
Awesome. Okay, so last question, Eric, this is for you too. So if each of you have to give a book recommendation, what would be your book?
Oh God.
Hero by Bill Perkins.
I would have to say Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich. I think it comes down to, regardless what endeavor that you're looking to accomplish in your life, I think it comes down to number one, desire. Like Brent said before, you have to have a burning, and I mean a burning desire. Number two, you got to have faith. You got to believe it's going to happen. Even in a down moment, you have to have faith. And number three, you have to have a plan and execute on that plan. So Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill.
Think of which one.
Elizabeth?
Elizabeth, how about you?
And mine's Die with Zero by Bill Perkins. Hands down, changed my life. I mean, there's lots of great business books and all these books we can share out, but that one is the one that comes to mind for me.
Brent, what's your favorite book?
I mean, hands on, the one that changed my life is the Bible. At 19, I became a Christian. Read the book of John. It's in the New Testament. Read the book of John in the Bible. You don't have one, send me a message. I will gladly send you one. I'll overnight it. I'll be there tomorrow. But as a business book would be The Greatest Salesman That Ever Lived by Og Mandino. Changed my life. It's a paperback. All my kids have read it. Talks about overcoming trials and tribulations and setbacks. And when all hell breaks loose, and how to push forward in the face of adversity, and how to create moral fiber and character and toughness. And I just love the book. It's the greatest book on sales. This is my favorite book next to the Bible. The Greatest Salesman That Ever Lived by Og Mandino. Change your life. I've handed out hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of copies.
Favorite book?
Relentless. And I'd agree with the Bible, of course. Actually, I'm speaking to you with my cell phone stacked on my two Bibles, just so you know, if I turned it around. Relentless, just so you know, I think that's a good one. The Tipping Point by Malcolm Gladwell, because you only need a few people in your life. You don't need a lot of people. You guys think you got to contact a lot of people. I knew Elizabeth. I know Brent. I've got 5 or 6 people that affected my life in this company. You don't need tons. And I have 2 million books up there that I could give you. I don't even know when you said the one. I don't think there's one. Yeah. I really don't.
That's fair.
I just read them all.
I want to be respectful of everyone's time. I first want to say thank you to Elizabeth, Jean, and Brent again for not just everything that you do, how much you pour into everybody that is at this company. I'm so proud of being affiliated with the three of you because of who you are as people. And I want to thank everybody that participated in today's call. There were almost 400 people that were investing into themselves. I want to wish everyone a Merry Christmas. Have a wonderful holiday. I hope it's full of love and festivities. And I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful 2025. Make 2025 special, so you never have to look back over your shoulder and say, I could have, I would have, or should have done it differently. Seize the moment. The moment is right here. Thank you for being here today.
Bye, everybody. Merry Christmas.
Bye, y'all.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.